Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a quick video to review the strategies that we have for division, so that you have a reference, so you have something to look at when you're working independently or if you're working at home, or things like that, if I'm not available. So we will cover both of the strategies that we've learned in class so far, and I'll do both strategies with the same problem. Um, let's just go ahead and start with, we will do 927 divided by 17. So first strategy would be, well, they're both partial quotients, as you know, but we're going to start with the super 7 partial quotients first. So the first thing we want to do is make a facts list using, excuse me, this number, the number outside the garage, okay, to help us make our facts list. So we start with 2, 17 times 2, 34. We always do 2, 5, and 10. Now, something like 17 times 10, 5, might not be really easy for you to solve in your head. And remember, the whole point of our list of facts is to use things that we can solve using mental math or that we just automatically know, that we've memorized at this point. So if 17 times 5 is too hard for you, go to 17 times 10, which is going to give us 170. And then you can use your halving strategy to think about half of 170 to get the 5. You can use any other strategies that make sense to you for solving for the 5 as well. Excuse me. But I'm just going to show the 10 and then halving. So if we think about half of 170, it's going to be 85. And then after that point, you can either stop here and just use the facts that are in the list, or as I've suggested in class a lot, and I know a lot of you already do this, start using your facts list to come up with more facts that are going to get us closer to this 927. We want to get as close to 927 as we possibly can because it'll save us steps. Excuse me, it will save us steps, which means it saves us time, and it makes it so that we're less likely to make a mistake. The more steps we have to take, the more likely we are to make a mistake. So using my facts list, I'm going to use 17 times 20 because I know I can use the 17 times 10. 10 times 2 is 20, which means I can multiply the 170 times 2, which is 340. I'm getting a little bit closer. So then I can still go again and still continue with this doubling strategy or any other facts that come in between. If you wanted to try 17 times 30 in between, you could combine these two facts because the 20 and the 10 combined to be 30, which means their products would combine to give you that answer as well. But I'm going to just continue with this theme of doubling. And 17 times 40, so 20 doubled is 40. So that means I can double the 340, which gives us 680. So I'm getting a lot closer now. I'm getting a lot closer to where I need to be. Now I could go ahead and try to double the 40. I think it's going to be too big, okay? Because if I think about even doubling 600, that's going to get me to 1,200, and that's over 927. So I've gone about as far as I'm going to go with my doubling strategy to make this facts list. Once I have my facts list, I can go ahead and extend this out. Let me move my facts list over just a little bit because it's going to be in the way. Oops. Okay, we'll move it over. All right, so then the next step is to think about using my facts list to get as close to this 927 as I possibly can. So I'm going to look at the products of the facts on the list and pick the one that's going to get me as close to 927, which is 17 times 40. I already have my 17 right here, and remember, we're constantly thinking about 17 times whatever number it is that I put over here. So 17 times 40 is 680. I go ahead and put my 680 here, and then I subtract. All right, so now I have 247, and I'm going to think now about 247 and using my facts list to get as close to 247 as I possibly can. If I look over at my facts list, the fact that's going to get me there the closest is this 17 times 10. So I put my 10 here. 10 times 17 is 170. And subtract again. Be very careful in your subtraction that you don't make a mistake, because if you make a mistake in your subtraction, your entire problem will be off and you'll get the wrong answer. So make sure that you're kind of double checking your subtraction, even if you're checking it in your head, just thinking through and making sure that that makes sense even. All right, so now I'm at 77, and I'm going to come back to my facts list again and think about what I can use over here to get me as close to 77 as possible. Well, 85 is too big, so I'm going to have to go with 17 times 2. It's at this point that I've told you guys a lot of times in class that if you get here and you know that you can do something bigger than 2 and get there faster, then do that, okay? Otherwise, if you just use what's in the facts list, that's fine too. It will still get you there. It just might take a couple of other steps. So for example, if you see that 17 times 5 is 85, that's really close. And so you think, oh, maybe I should try 17 times 4, which means you can just subtract off one group of 17 from the 85, then do that, okay? That's fine. Use what you already know, use your skills, use all the strategies that you have. I'm going to continue with the facts list just as it is, but just so you know, and like we said in class a lot of times, use what you know and your understanding to do the most efficient method to solve the problem. Okay, so 17 times 2, I'm going to use that. I'm going to subtract again. 7 minus 4 is 3, 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, so I'm not done yet because the 43 is not smaller than the 17, so I have to go at least one more step. Again, I'm asking how close can I get to 43 using the facts in my list. Again, I'm going to have to use the 17 times 2, which is 34. We're going to subtract, and we're going to get 9. The 9 is smaller than the 17, which tells me that I'm done with this part of the process. I don't need to do any more use of the facts list. I come over here, I add up everything that's on this right side. So 40 plus 10 is 50, plus 2 is 52, plus 2 more is 54. So 54, and this number down here is our remainder. So 54, remainder 9. Okay, so that's using the first strategy.